Hey guys, so let's start today's session of CAT 25 Quantitative Aptitude. Today we are going to cover the questions of percentage, one of the most important topic of for the exam. We are going to take few questions and see how it goes. So let's start. So let's take the first question of percentage that came in 2017. So what does this question says? So it says the number of girls appearing for an admission test is twice the number of boys. Okay. If 30% of the girls and 45% of the boys get admission, the percentage of candidate who do not get admission is how much? So basically, all the values are given in terms of percentage, and question is also talking about the percentage. So what should be the approach? So instead of assuming anything in terms of variable, assume values in terms of numbers. Okay, so what do we have? We have boys, and then what do we have? We have girls. Now, question says that number of girls are twice of the number of boys. So, if I assume that number of boys are 100, the number of girls are going to be 200, then total number of students are going to be 300. And 30% of the girls, so 30% of 200 is 60 girls got admission, and the remaining 140 did not get admission, right? And out of 100, 45% of the boys got admission. So how many boys got admission? 45. How many boys did not get admission? 55. Now what question is talking about? The question is saying that the percentage of candidates who do not get admission is 55 plus 140. So basically overall 195 students did not get admission out of how many? Out of 300. So question is talking about what percent? So number of students who did not get admission divided by total number of students into 100. So basically this cancels out. 3 6 are 18, remaining is 1 1 5 15 65. So in this case my answer of this question is going to be option 4, that is 65. So this is the approach we are going to follow, but if you have studied your allegation, you can solve this question by alternate approach by using allegation. So basically the ratio of boys and girls is in the ratio of 1:2. That's what I know. 30% girls got admission. So basically, how many girls did not get admission? That is 70%. 45% boys got admission. So what percent of boys do not get admission? That is 55. Now, what is the total number of students who do not get admission is going to be here, right? The girl is to boy ratio is 2:1. So how we are going to solve it? Now, what is this difference? This difference is 15, and the break this difference in the ratio of 2:1. So basically this comes out to be 5, this comes out to be 10. So I'm breaking 15 in the ratio of 2:1. So basically the final percentage is going to be 5 less than 75 or 10 more than 55. So that comes out to be 65%. So if you are comfortable with allegation, you can use this approach. If you are not comfortable with allegation, then you can also use this approach. Both the approaches are fine. Okay, now let's move on to the next question. Let's see what does the next question says. Now it says that out of the shirts produced in a factory, 15% are defective. Okay, while 20% of the rest are sold in the domestic market. If the remaining 8840 shirts are left for export, then what is the number of shirts produced in the factory, right? Now, what I can think of, I can assume the value as 100, but whenever in the question there is an actual value is given. So if you see, all the values are not in terms of percentage. Some actual values are given, that is this. This is not in terms of percentage, this is not in terms of ratio. So this is an actual number that is given to us. So in this case, can we assume a number as 100? No, because if you are assuming 100, it means you are assuming the answer as well. Can you assume a variable? Instead of assuming x, what you should do, you should assume the total number of shirts are 100x, so that you can get the benefit of assumption of 100, as well as you can get the value in terms of variable, right? So out of 100x, how many are defective? 15x, right? So these are defective. So how many are non-defective? That is 85x. So we are going to do step by step. 20% is 1/5. While 20% of the rest, so 20% of means 1/5 of 85x, that comes out to be 17x, are sold in domestic market. Okay, so what are the number of shares that are remaining? That is 68x. Okay, now it says if the remaining, so remaining are 8840, that is equal to 68x. So I know this is equal to 8840. And question is talking about what is the value of 100x, right? So 68x is this. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cancel it by 4. So this comes out to be 17. This is 2, 2, 1, 0. Okay, 17, 1. Then I got 5, 1. This is going to be 17 ones are 17. Then it's 5, 51, 3, 0. So x comes out to be 130. Now, what I am supposed to calculate, I am not supposed to calculate the value of x, I am supposed to calculate the value of 100x. So if x is 130, 100x is going to be 13,000. So in that case, my answer of this question is going to be option 2, that is 13,000. Okay, so now let's move on to the next question and see what does it says. Okay. In a village, the production of food grains increased by 40%. Okay, and the per capita food production of food grains increased by 27% during a certain period. Okay, uh, mm, the percentage by which the population of the village increased during the same period is nearest. So there are multiple ways to solve this question. So what I am going to do, I am assuming that uh, let's say the population increase it is talking about. Okay, so if I am saying I'm going to write the formula first, then I'm going to think of something else, right? So total food can be said as total population total population into per capita food production. Per capita means per person. So if I multiply this by total number of people, I'm going to get total food production, right? So this is the formula I'm going to write. Now, what does it say? So read step by step. So when you're solving this question in the exam, you don't have to exactly write this. You need to think of this. This is important. Now, the production of food grains increased by 40%. So initially, if food was 1, it increased by 40%. So it has become 140%. So 140% is what? 1.4. Okay. And per capita is increased by 27%. So total population increased by some percent. So what is multiplying factor is going to be, let's say x. I don't know what it is, into per capita. If it was 100, it has become 127, or I would say initially it was 100%, it has become 127%. So 127% can be said as 1.27. Okay, so what is the value of x? That is going to be 1.4 divided by 1.27. So this value comes out approx to be 1.1. Now question is are talking about nearest to. It is not talking about accurate value. So basically the multiplication factor has become 1.1. So 1.1, if I multiply it by 100 and divide by 100, I can say it is 110%. So initial value of the population was 100%, right? Now it has become 110%. So what is the percentage change we are looking for? We are looking for the increase of 10% of the population. The answer of this question is going to be option 3, that the population has increased by 10%. That's what I can say in this question. Now, so this is one of the approaches of this question. Now, what is the second approach? I can assume that total population is 100 and per capita food production is also 100, right? So what is the total food production? That is going to be 10,000, right? Now, total food production has increased by 40%, so it has become 14,000. Okay. Now, the population, what is the population? That is X. What is the new per capita food consumption? That is 127. So if you solve, value of X comes out to be close to 110. So initially population was 100. Now the population is close to 110. So what is the percentage change or percentage increase we are looking for? That is 10% increase. So you can take either this approach or you can take this approach. Both the approaches are fine. Which approach clicks you first in the exam? That's anyhow is going to be a better approach. Now let's move on to the next question. What does it say? So in an examination, the maximum possible score is n. Okay. So what I am going to do, I am going to take the total marks as n. Now I can assume the value of n is 100, but what is the problem I can see? If you look at the options are talking about the value of n. So if you are assuming the value is 100, it means you are assuming the answer itself. You can't do that. So what you are supposed to do, I'm going to draw a number line. So what are the total marks? Total marks are n, right? What are the passing marks? Passing marks are 45% of n. Okay. Now, a candidate obtained 36 mark but falls short of pass marks by 68%. It means he is getting 32% of the passing marks, because if you are short by 68%, it means you are scoring 32%. So it means that guy is scoring 32% of the pass marks. Now what are the pass marks? That is 45%. So the student is scoring 32% of 45% of n. So 45% I can say is this, and that is equal to his marks. And what are his marks? That is 36. So I'm going to write it as 32 by 100 into 45 by 100 into n, and that is equal to 36. So basically 9594. This comes out to be 20. Okay, 4. This is going to be 8. So I can say the value of n is going to be 2000 upon 8. So what is the value of n? That is 250. Now, which option does it satisfy? That is 250 lies in the range of 243 to 252. So answer of this question is going to be option 4. So whenever we are going to see these kind of questions, we are going to draw a number line and figure out where the value lies. Now, let's move on to the next one. What does it say? Okay. So in an examination, the score of A was 10% less than that of B. So if B is scoring 100% of B, then A is scoring 90% of B. Okay. Or 90% of B, or I can say 0.9 of B. Okay. So the first statement I am writing, A is equal to 0.9 times B. Okay. So what is the value of B? So B is scoring 25% more than C. So 25% means 1 by 4. So B is scoring 5 by 4 of C, means 125% of C. So 125% can be said as 5 by 4 of C. Now C is scoring 20% less than that of D. It means C is scoring 1/5 less than D. It means how much C is scoring? 4 by 5 of D. Okay. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to plug this value over here. So what is the score of B? That is 5 by 4 of 4 by 5 of D. So this is 4/5, 5, 5, 5, 5. So score of B and D is equal. Okay. So from the first statement, I can say A is equal to 0.9 of D. Now question says if the score of A is 72. Okay. So score of A is 72, that is equal to 0.9 of D. Remove decimal, plug a zero, this comes out to be 80. So what is the score of D we are talking about? The score of D is going to be 80 marks. This is a theta question, so basically even if you get it wrong, there will not be a negative marking, but this is a question that should not be wrong. This is pretty easy. It might take a while to solve, but it is a definite question. You are definitely going to get +3 mark in this question. Now let's move on to the next question and see what it is. Okay, Meena scores 40% in an examination. Okay, and after review, even though her score increased by 50%, she still fails by 35 marks. Okay. If her post review score uh, increases by 20%, she will have 7 marks more than the passing score. Okay. The percentage score needed to pass the exam. Okay. So what is the approach we are going to take here? Let's see. So what I'm going to do, I am going to assume the total marks are 100x, because as we have already discussed that when actual value is given, we can't assume the value as 100, but if we need the benefit of 100, then instead of assuming x, always go with 100x. So I am assuming that value is 100x. How much she is scoring? She is scoring 40%. So she is scoring 40x. Okay, her score is 40x. Even though her score is increased by 50%. So her score is what is 50% of 40x? That is 20x, right? So her score increases by 20x. So she reaches at 60x. Okay. Now, she still fails by 35 marks. So pass marks are close to here. Now, the difference between pass marks and her score 60x, that is going to be 35, and that's what we have, right? Now what does it says? It says if her post review score, that is this, is increased by 20%. So what is 20% of 60x? That is 12x. So if her score becomes 72x, 12x more than 60x, she will have 7 marks more than the passing marks. So basically 7 marks more than passing marks means this distance is going to be 7. Okay, so what is so if I'm looking from here to here, what is the difference? That is 12x. That is equal to 35x, 35 plus 7. From here to here, what is the distance? 35 plus 7, that is 42. Okay, so basically what is the value of x? So basically what I'm going to do, I'm going to multiply it by how much? 5. So 5. Now, why I'm going to do this, you will understand in a while. So this is 60x. This is equal to 210. Means this is 210. Right. Now, what is it? This is 35. So passing marks are 245. This is what we have. So what is the value of passing marks? That is 245. So passing marks are 245. And passing marks must be greater than 60% and less than 72%. Right? So if I need to calculate this, do I need to calculate everything? So I can calculate. So basically I can say that 12x is 42. So what is the value of x? I can cancel it by 6. So 6 2s are 6. This comes out to be 7. So x comes out to be 3.5. So what are the total marks we are talking about? Total marks are 350. What are the passing marks? That is 245. So what percent we are talking about? 350 into 100. Right. So this is the percentage. Right. So cancel. 35. This comes out to be 7. So 70% is the answer. Now the thing is, we solved. We got the value of x. We have done everything. We got it right. Right. Now, if I'm solving this question in the exam, what would be my approach to solve? So I'm solving this question in the exam by taking a different approach. So what is the initial marks? So basically the marks are 100%. This is, she initially scored 40%. Now her marks increased by 50%. So she is getting 60% marks, right? Then she is still failed, right? So passing marks should be here. Now her marks increased by 20%. So now she is getting 72%. Now she is passing the exam. So it means your passing percent should be lying between 60 and 72, right? So which option lies between 60 and 72? There is only one option. This is not possible, this is not possible, this is not possible. So what should be the answer of this question? That is option one only. And that's how we are going to solve this question in the exam. And then we can save a lot of time if we are going to think this way to solve this question in the exam. Now, with this, we are concluding the session. If anyone has any doubt regarding anything, you can definitely ask me. If you want to you can type anything and I'll respond to your queries. And if you don't have any doubt, then I'll wind up the session. And thank you.